big couple weeks for Hillsboro County. Now, last week they said the June 1st deadline, which we're a little more than a month away from, the June 1st deadline the Rays had set for a stadium deal is unlikely to be met.
Oh, good.
This is really, really bad, but also this is part of negotiations. This is part of how this goes, a give and take. Now, Pat, you were out. We had Ken Hagan join the show last week, and if you missed that, you can hear that on the iHeartRadio app. And Pat,
I was jealous. I missed the Hitman.
Hitman, good friend of the Pat and Aaron show, and I love the conversations we have because a lot of people will say, oh, he's just a politician. He's just BSing. I like to think Ken Hagan is having honest conversations with us. He texts me on the side. Everything he's said and everything he's told us has been accurate. Ken doesn't know exactly what the Rays are thinking and what their part in this negotiation is. That's why it's a negotiation. That's why it's a back and forth. And Ken said on this show that the Rays are going to have to make some concessions here. And this is all this is telling them and really highlighting to them, you got to make some concessions here because this timeline.
I hope they're willing to.
They better be because it's a tight window. We knew this. And if you miss the deadline, the team has said this, that puts state funding at risk and potentially having them look elsewhere.
And this is the first paragraph from the article in the Tampa Bay Times from Nicholas Villamil. And if you're a Rays fan, it's enough to make you want to vomit. Hillsboro County has told the Tampa Bay, as Aaron just mentioned, right? Hillsboro County has told the Tampa Bay Rays it is unlikely to meet the team's deadline for the completion of a stadium deal, which could jeopardize the entire proposal. Like, that is enough to make you want to vomit as a Rays fan.
Now, I like that this new ownership group and Ken Babby, they're not shying away. We haven't heard them threaten to pull the team and go somewhere else. But they're out there saying...
They're awfully close.
What have they said?
Let me find the exact quote, but they basically said we would have to look at other options if this doesn't happen, which is basically pretty damn close. Let me find the exact quote.
Because Ken Babby, to me...
Should this commitment ultimately not be achievable, we would have no choice but to evaluate alternatives. I mean, that's just shy of it.
Yep, it is
what are
it's
alternatives?
Also, it's not bringing up Montreal. It's not bringing up other cities. The ridiculous Montreal idea.
Okay, but so obviously they're not going to be dumb enough to rehash splitting the team in half like morons. But at the same time,
bringing up Nashville.
Dude, so they didn't bring up a specific city. Alternatives are alternatives, dude. Alternatives doesn't mean other spots in Tampa, does it?
Part of the conversation and part of the language and the back and forth and the negotiating, and I have to hope that they're doing it in good faith. And if we get to a point here in a month where the Rays start to, and this ownership group, they start to talk about new locations, that is when I will go nuclear on them. But until then, I'm
not going nuclear, but they're basically saying that.
No, I'm saying I will go nuclear on them. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. This is a new ownership group. They know it's a tight timeline. We know it's a tight timeline. It's got to get done. I understand Hillsboro County, the city of Tampa, especially Hillsboro County right now. They're doing their due diligence. This is not a plan you can just plop together and say, this is a new...
Let's plop it together.
No, it's a whole new... Pat, ridiculous. It's a whole new ownership group. This is something that's going to matter for this city for decades to come. So it's not something you just put together, put in front, and pats it through. And I know the Rays would love that. That's not how this goes. And they knew that. So you got to work with the county. You got to work with these commissioners. And I think that's what's happening here. This is part of the negotiating.
I agree with you there. I do think it's part of the negotiations to take a hard line. Like, you can't just go, yeah, take your time. As long as it takes, it doesn't matter. Let's figure it. That's how I would probably handle it. And that's why I wouldn't get anything done. That's why we are idea guys and not execution guys. But while I won't say it's a direct threat, we would have no choice but to evaluate alternatives is pretty much a threat.
Yeah, well, that's them making sure that they're putting their feet to the fire and saying, get this done, let's get this done. The time's running out. So I understand that. Until I hear an actual threat, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt because they are a new ownership group. But if we get to a month, 40 days, and this thing hasn't cleared up, then yeah, I'm going to start to go scorched earth because once again, this new ownership group took this team over, understanding what the problems were, telling us that they're going to get it done, essentially. And if you don't get it done, we have absolute reason to hate them forever. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt right now, but it's got to be done quickly here.
It's very frustrating because Ken Hagan is one of the few people that it feels like and this is the same thing, the same conversation we had about Pinellas. It doesn't feel like there's a ton of urgency. It just doesn't. Like, from Ken, there does. We've talked to Ken about this for years. We know how bad he wants it. But like I've mentioned the mayor before, like, it doesn't seem to be a push to get this done as much as I certainly would love to see.
There's some people who are for this and some who are against it. We've known this from the start. If they think in Hillsborough County...
But there are some people who say they're for it but don't seem to be putting their foot on the gas.
Is it really up to them to put the foot on the gas? If they don't think that it's going to help the city and the county...
Well, then don't say you're for it. Don't say you believe in it if you don't.
You can believe in it. It takes two to tango. And if the Rays ownership group is asking for more and putting more on the table than was expected, which we all agree that's the case, for the stadium alone being $2.3 billion, that was not a price tag that we were given when they were in St. Petersburg. Things have changed here. So Hillsborough County, they're going and adjusting here. And it's not something you can just pull the wool over their eyes and go, sign this, vote on this, vote on this. You got to be able to do your due diligence. They have constituents here that they have to abide by, and they have to make sure they're doing right by them. That's part of the game.
No, I know it is, but it's going to be part of the game until we lose the game. And that's my concern.
Because you're just giving full access and full carte blanche, I should say full carte blanche to the Rays ownership group and saying, hey, it's fine whatever you do. It's not on you. It's on Hillsborough County.
But, no, listen, Hillsborough County can decide whatever they want to decide. But I just don't understand why there isn't more of a push to try to make it the deadline.
Why are
even if you're not going to vote for it, just decide what you're going to do. And don't be like, well, that deadline might be too early.
Answer me this. Why are the Rays asking for a lot of the public funding on the ballpark to be front-loaded? How about that?
So they can pay for it.
Then why buy the damn team if you can't pay for it? Why?
Dude.
Why? Why would you buy a team knowing the issues if you can't pay for it? That makes no sense.
Who buys their own stadiums?
That was the issue the entire time. So if
the
you
issue
bought
with Stu
this team
Sternberg
alone,
is Stu would have never put up this kind of money.
That's not about Stu anymore. It's about a new ownership group that knew that
You're the one who brought him up.
Pat.
You just brought him up.
You brought up Stu in the regards of Stu wouldn't have done it. We know that. The new ownership group that bought this team knew that public funding was going to be an issue. So why would you buy a team unless you felt confident that, hey, yeah, we could get some public funding. That would be great. But if not, we've got the money to put it up.
Because they worked with the commissioner who's been working with public officials. So clearly there was some groundwork done here where it's hey, we've got a city that's willing to work with us. We've got a county that's willing to work with us. I've been going there as the commissioner of Major League Baseball to make sure that they were ready to work with us as long as we got rid of the issue. So we've done that, and now we need people to work with us.
And they're asking for more money. They're asking for more. So why before was it all on Stu and we rip Stu, but now all of a sudden it's a new ownership
group? Hold on, did I
like,
not rip Pinellas quite a bit when I thought they were dragging their feet?
Okay, fine. But now we're in Hillsborough County and you're like, hey.
And I don't want them to drag their feet.
But nothing towards a new ownership group of asking for more money, asking for it to be front-loaded? Nothing on them?
Listen, I don't know enough about whether or not front-loading it, how much that matters.
It matters.
Okay.
Money up front as opposed to what you could get later on, especially when everything's done, redevelopment's done, and you can start making money off that. Yeah, I personally think it does matter.
Well, we're not going to make any money if there's no ballpark.
That's where I agree with you.
There'll be no money. There'll just be an old college over there and a bunch of parking spots and a city that could have been better but decided not to be better.